People wear clothes every day, at least most normal people. We thought, maybe there was a niche there. And, you know, I, I, I was just looking at the industry and I was like, what? I think there's a little hole here for dudes like me that we can go make some stuff that we think is cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast. Robbie and Jonathan here. Jonathan, we just keep meeting the most interesting people in the world, and this episode is exactly like the rest of them. It was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you think Navy SEAL, you think military, and the last thing you think is golf clothing guy. And
Actually, that's the
yet,
first thing I think.
is that the first thing? You're thinking
Not at all.
polos.
Not at all.
No, so we just talked to the founder of Hoolie Golf, Bobby, and even finding out that the term Hoolie, if you're in the military, you probably already know it's a thing that helps you pry open doors, but then also apparently on the other side of the pond, it is blowing a hoolie. So I think the connection there is great. Always excited to meet new people that decided to jump off that cliff of entrepreneurship and try to figure out how to do life differently. And just another exciting brand that we get to connect to. And yeah, you think about all the brands that we chatted with whenever they were 1 or 2 years old, and now here we are 2 or 3 years later getting to see their level of success. Probably not because of the 4 people that listen to our podcast, but because they're doing great things and other people find them. So just really fun and exciting to learn more about that today and see where it goes, hopefully soon.
Yeah. We probably had 4 at the very beginning, but it's grown a little bit since then. We're very excited for all those all over the world that do listen to the Whole Story and the other BestBall podcast. But yeah, Bobby Holland, one of the co-founders of Hoolie Golf. It was such a good chat. Yeah. I have to give thanks to my friend Jonathan Hulecki, who I went to high school with, also a former Navy SEAL, who said, "Hey, like what you guys are doing, you need to talk to Bobby because he's doing something called Hoolie Golf." And so, yeah, it was a great conversation. I think you guys are going to like it. And it's like he says a couple different times, it's not just for, apparel and a brand for former military, current military, stuff like that. It's for anybody that's athletic, outdoorsy, like that likes competition. He mentioned he did CrossFit events and stuff like that. So I think you could find something there if you go check out their website, which we'll have links here in the show notes. So check that out. Yeah. Speaking of apparel and branding, we are thankful for working with Summit Golf Brands. They make great stuff. Another incredible company in the apparel space, but folks like Bedrati, Zero Restriction, Fairway, and Green, they make great stuff. And if you go to any of their sites and use BestBall20, you can get 20% off your order. But yeah, really love what they do. Their spring line is out now. I know they're hardworking, probably on spring of next year, because I think fall, they've already got that in the books and people are starting to order it. But it's, the whole clothing brand, process just incredible because you have to stay so far ahead of the game. And so, yeah, thankful for Summit and our friends there. So this is a great episode. I think you guys will enjoy it. Please go check out Hoolie Golf and start following them on their social channels. Buy a hat, buy a shirt, buy whatever. But you guys are going to like it. So without any further ado, here is Bobby Holland with Hoolie Golf. All right, well, today's guest is Mr. Bobby Holland with Hoolie Golf. Bobby, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Well, we appreciate you joining us. I love how just life brings together people and introduces you to the next one. So a good friend of mine, Jonathan, who I went to high school with and have known, for 25, 30 years now, it reached out to me on LinkedIn. We'll see each other, at a class reunion every few years, but he reached out to me and said, "Hey, I love what you guys are doing with Best Ball. I got somebody you need to meet, somebody that's doing something really cool." His name is Bobby Holland, and he started this thing called Hoolie Golf. So here we are. We get to chat with you and learn more about what you're doing in this game, but as we start out kind of every episode with our guests, like we love kind of the backstory of how you got into golf. Like, when did you pick it up, start playing, fall in love with the game?
Yeah, and I'll try not to be too long-winded, and thank you guys for having me on. Really cool. Um, yeah, so I was kind of the antithetical golfer growing up, and that's what kind of makes this thing great, right? Because when you fall in love with the game, like you really fall hard. Um, but yeah, so I grew up playing, football, wrestling, stuff like that. Joined the military. Became a SEAL. Started my whole career as a SEAL. Spent about 10 years in the teams, just doing team guy stuff. And we happened to have a deployment that was pending. We were supposed to go to Afghanistan at the time, and things were getting kind of real weird with our deployments at that time. And our deployment basically got delayed, and it was like delayed by a couple of weeks the first time, and then it got delayed again. And so this kind of snowballed, and we found ourselves kind of bags packed, ready to go overseas. And my platoon commander had the great idea. He's like, we got to get the boys out. We got to do something. Morale is low. We're supposed to be overseas doing stuff, and we're just sitting here kind of waiting. And so we took the boys golfing, and we went to a military course down in Coronado and had a blast, man. And that was, I had picked up a club probably twice in my entire life prior to that moment, but something happened. I hit an iron and I felt that crisp
There it
sound on
is.
one of my 140 shots I took that day, and I was like, I need to find more of that.
We're
And
all searching for that.
Right.
yeah, and that was it. I literally at the end of that round, I went to local golf store. I got a bag of used clubs. A bunch of us kind of got hooked at that moment. And yeah, it's so that was, man, I was thinking about it. That was almost 16 years ago. It's gone really, really fast. Um, but yeah, I just fell in love with the game, and as you guys know, whatever age you pick it up, it just kind of metastasizes and turn into a full blown addiction at some point.
Yeah.
See,
Well, first, thank you for your service, man. We we,
absolutely.
we gotta we gotta start
Yeah,
there.
thank you. Of course.
What you've done is awesome. So thank you.
No,
Yeah.
appreciate that.
And my second thing is, are you allowed to use military equipment to like dial in your golf game? Like we have rangefinders, but are you guys like bringing
Yeah.
out your scopes and actually picking out everything there, or are you just
I never did. No night vision golf or anything like that. It sounds like fun. No,
I might
that's
need like the scuba gear sometimes, but
yeah. I'll tell you what though, I do get frustrated with this civilian tech every now and then. My rangefinder's like crapping out right now, and I wish I had the good like laser guided type stuff for sure.
absolutely. Well, you've taken your passion for this and now you've turned it into a business. So tell us about kind of the origin story of Hoolie Golf, like the
Sure.
name. How did you get this idea to do this?
Yeah. So I took you very briefly about my career. So picked up golf, and then about a decade later from that point, I just found myself at the tail end of my career and was like, you know what, it's time to get out. I'm just looking to start a new chapter. And in that, I really had no idea what I wanted to do. And I had kind of like planted some seeds in my mind of, man, it would be cool to be involved in the golf space. And, I was like, I don't know where my skills align in this industry. The industry is so broad. But I was like, maybe I could be a caddy or something. And, I definitely understand, coming from a you know, performance side, from a, mental coaching side. I felt like I had something to bring there. I was like, I don't know, maybe it's golf course management. I'm just throwing ideas out. I just like, yeah, I want to be in and around golf. Kind of shoved that to the side. It's like, all right, let's be practical here, figure something out. And I ended up enrolling in a grad school program down here in Southern California, enrolled in UCLA's executive MBA program. And that was really just like an off ramp to uh, go learn some business skills, network, and really, I mean, just buy myself time. That was it. In that latent period from when I got accepted to UCLA to me classing up, I had an idea. Like I woke up on a Saturday, and I won't get too much into it because someday I hope to launch this product. But it ended up being a golf bag, and it was like I had this idea, and I spent all Saturday drawing on it, and I was like, you know what, this seems kind of cool. Anyways, fast forward to the program. They have a series of electives that you can take. One of them is an entrepreneurial elective, and it's kind of like a idea exploration, for lack of better terms there. And you either had to kind of pitch your own product idea or company idea, or join a team. And it's like, I think it'd be kind of fun to let's see if there's something, if there's a here. And so I did that. I ended up the first person I called, funny enough, is a he's one of the co-founders in Hoolie. So one of the first people I found in UCLA. Um, but anyway, so we took this through this program, built a team around it, and it was just a single product idea at that point. And we researched it. 6 months later, came to the conclusion like, hey, I think there's something here. Not sure exactly what that is. They had a series of other, you know, basically a capstone path on the entrepreneurial side. So we took, Hoolie through that. And, that gave us an opportunity to do a bunch of market research and kind of formulate like what we thought we were, what the brand was, what the products were. And yeah, we did that. We ended up graduating in spring of 22, and it took us about 9 months to get to market after that. And yeah, so to answer your other questions, like the inspiration for the name, it's crazy how this stuff comes here. And it all came to me before I classed up at UCLA, at least a version of it. But one of the jobs I had in the SEAL teams was I was a breacher. And breachers are responsible for basically gaining entry into target compounds, enemy compounds, and we use a whole, you know, host of tools to do that. Explosive, exothermic torches, manual tools, mechanical, you name it. One of the tools we use is a simple kind of pry bar thing. It's called a Hoolie tool. That's what we call it in the SEAL teams. Firemen use a Halligan bar or a Halligan tool, basically the same thing. But I like the way it sounded, and it's like there's it has like good symbolism there. I did some research into it, and it turns this is a little bit obscure for the folks that are on the west side of the pond, but over in Europe and Scotland, if it's blowing a Hoolie, it's blowing a strong wind. So like in golf parlance, that's like a thing. So once I found there was a connection there, I was like, man, it's meant to be. And we just rolled with it. So that's where the name came from.
I was trying to figure out, how do you have a conversation with your wife? Hey, I've been a Navy SEAL for a number of years. Now I want to do golf stuff. But I mean, no one's shooting at you. You're not jumping out of planes. You're not blowing up doors. So it's got to be at least a little bit easier to get into it.
Yeah, I think being a team guy for 21 plus years softened her up to the idea of me doing something crazy again, in a much different way. My wife is amazing, and yeah, she's really backed me from the beginning when it's like, man, you sure we want to go down this road? Being an entrepreneur is tough, and definitely it's a sacrifice on everyone around you for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun as well. But so what was that first product like when you said, "Hey, we're doing Hoolie," like, and you start pitching it to the class, and then, like you said, nine
Yeah.
months later after graduation, you take it to market. What was the first product?
Yeah. So the idea I had was kind of best way I could put it is if a Navy SEAL thought of a golf bag, that's what it would be. Again, I hope that someday we'll go down that road. But what we found out as we were doing our market research is, you know, first it's a very dense industry, right? There's a lot of competition, and we felt like cool product idea, but if we're going to build something and build something real, it needs to be more of a brand, like something that, people buy a golf bag, once every couple years. Some people will ride one golf bag hard, until that thing just completely shreds. Um, but people wear clothes every day, at least most normal people. We thought, maybe there was a niche there, and you know, I, I I was just looking at the industry, and I was like, I think there's a little hole here for dudes like me that we can go make some stuff that we think is cool, that kind of aligns with our identity, if you will. And so, yeah, we basically pivoted, and co-founder Kevin Lee, he has a background in apparel, garment, and sourcing operations. And so there was a natural alignment there to like, hey, why don't we start with, apparel? And from there, with any luck, we'll grow it outward. So hopefully, we'll get into all sorts of things after that.
That's awesome. So if anybody out there is listening and watching and you see somebody wearing a Hoolie shirt, they are one of the most baddest people in the world, and you definitely want them on your team, right?
Yeah, I look, and we're not pigeonholed to
Yeah,
just military or anything like that. We like to think of our customers as action guys, and whether that they have
I
a
love it.
a background in the military or law enforcement, or they're an athlete, former athlete, a gym rat, a CrossFit, or pardon me. Someone who just likes to get after it, someone who's driven to do their best, someone who has a good sense of humor. That bucket's actually pretty big there. So
Yeah.
What's your European market look like since blowing a hoolie is something obviously they would connect to?
yeah, we're still young, and we're really focusing on the U.S. side here.
Yeah.
And obviously, you can get online in Europe, and we have some customers there. But um, in the military parlance, we're trying to get a beachhead here in the continental U.S. here. But yeah, I think when we were creating this brand, again, we're trying to create something that is, more like a mindset, and it's a shared mindset, really everywhere. So
And I love how golf has evolved to where it's, hoodies, t-shirts,
yeah,
wear what you want. Most places will allow that. There are a lot of places that still say, nope, collared shirt tucked
yeah,
into your pleated khakis or whatever. But I love how it's created an opportunity just with a culture shift of wear what you want, where it makes you feel comfortable, what you like. Places like Sweetens Cove or something like that, that
yeah,
they're like, T-shirt, man, definitely wear a T-shirt. And so I
yeah.
think it's presented an open doors for companies like Hoolie that creates just good stuff that people actually want to wear on and off the course, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was a big pivot a couple years ago, whatever, where yeah, people wanted to be just a little bit more I wear stuff that's fun and interesting, and get away from the kind of generic stuff of years past. And yeah, it's cool to see even the country clubbers are wearing, fun, cool stuff. And but yeah, to your point, still the country clubs, they got to wear the colors, and that was kind of the impetus of one of the things I looked at, if we want to call it a pain point, is I'm a t-shirt guy, right? Like I really wasn't raised wearing a bunch of polos, except for maybe going to church or some sort of nice event there. You have to wear a polo, for the most part, for a lot of golf courses. So let's make them like interesting and cool, and make them something that like I would feel good wearing. And it's like looking back when I first picked up golf, I was like, man, I dress like a real nerd. It's just, but it's like that's what was there, and you had to wear a collared shirt. And so I'm glad at least I don't look like a nerd anymore.
Well, for those who are listening that may be thinking, I've got a golf idea, or, maybe it's someday I want to, jump off that proverbial cliff and become an entrepreneur. What's been some of the lessons you've learned as you tried to get this off the ground, as it's continued to grow? And what would you tell someone that was sort of in those shoes, just with the idea on a scratch paper on a Saturday morning?
Yeah. Well, I think step one is this a lifestyle business, or are you all in, right? Like, is this going to be
Mhm.
something that you're doing on the side? Because if this is something you're doing on the side, then really you have that. time horizon is forever. There's no urgency that it's like we got to get this rolling, or something bad's going to happen there. So I think figuring that part out, and if you are going all in, I think everyone's kind of enamored with the idea of being an entrepreneur. It's like, man, I get to build my own schedule, get to do my own thing, all that, and yeah, I think people need to be realistic that it's really tough, right? So it's like, okay, you got a new company. If you're going all in, like, how do you pay for your day to day, expenses, the roof over your head, all that? How's the financial aspect going to work? You're dumping money into the company, and you're reinvesting that money into the company if you want to grow. And or the people around you, do you have a good support system to make that happen? So those are like the entry level stuff, and I think that latter part is, and even myself to a certain amount, I kind of underappreciated, like what the hell I was getting myself into. So those are kind of the first two steps, and then beyond that, you got to look at the competition, and like I said, it's very dense out there, and that's from everything golf related. I mean, golf equipment, apparel, especially the last couple of years. After that boom in kind of 2020, there's a lot of new brands out there. So what do you offer that's different? And, if you're going to something that's regional or a brick and mortar model, there's a lot of benefits to that because you have a market, you have like some kind of latent demand that you can just tap into immediately. And for the rest of us, like, we're a direct to consumer company, online. You got to find people however you can find them. And that's extremely challenging when you don't have the big marketing budgets of these other huge brands. There's a learning curve. And if you're a startup, then you're probably pretty lean, and you got, minimum personnel wearing a lot of different hats. So there's a learning curve there, and it just takes some time to get eyes on the brand. So I think it's being realistic, unless you truly have something novel, which, hate to say it, like on the apparel side, the novelty comes, for the most part, in the designs. So a lot of folks have similar or claim similar performance or whatever. So really, it's kind of like brand identity, and getting people to fall in love with you, and then word of mouth spreading, and using all the resources you have to kind of do that. So um, and reach out. The other thing, which was really helpful for us, when you're in a grad school program, or probably just any educational program, a lot of people are willing to talk to you. So I had a lot of conversations with people in the golf industry, and that really helped us like prepare for our launch. So, reach out to people, get to know the industry. Um, and it also helps if you're a consumer, then it helps. I think you have an idea of the pain points. I like to think of myself as customer number one. Um, so if you can build something that you think is really cool, and there's other people like you, then chances are, there's probably a market for it.
Are you currently just selling online, or are you guys actually in golf pro shops and things like that too?
We select retail, and just yeah, we're really pursuing direct to consumer at this point right now. When we scale up, then we'll kind of get into all that green grass stuff. We do have a couple of other partners, wholesale partners.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, we're basically online, and aside from that, we do activations. So like we just did an event, at a CrossFit event. So I have like, it's an old van, a beater that we dressed up. We call it the Hoolie Express, and so we can cruise around,
That's
showcase our
awesome.
merch. Yeah, we do golf events. Any way that we can connect with folks. So yeah, kind of that omni-channel, online, in-person activations. We also, aside from the wholesale side, we also have just a bulk side. So corporate events, stuff like that.
That's pretty
I was
cool.
sitting there thinking, Jonathan, I don't know if you had the idea. I was sitting there thinking, if you are going to start reaching out to courses and being there, like the natural fit seems to be military courses,
Oh,
right? You talked about the one you kind of
Yeah.
went out and tried, and Jonathan and I are huge fans of it. He's got one there in Augusta, and I've got one down the
Yeah.
road here in in Columbia. And so I would just think that would be a natural fit of
Yeah.
having that stuff in the pro shops.
Yeah, I totally agree. And one thing that people, unless they're in the industry, they don't really understand is there's a finite amount of space. Like you just pick any golf shop.
yep.
There's a finite amount of shelf space, and everyone who's got space in there has a relationship with that shop. So that means you're gonna have to boot someone out to get in, right? So it's like, yeah, there's a lot of challenges, but absolutely, the alignment is great. We would love to connect with the military community, veterans, 100%.
I'd walk the shirt over there for you if you want me to. I'm friends with the golf
Yeah,
pro here at Fort
yeah,
Gordon,
let's do it.
uh,
Yeah,
and I'm a member out there. I preach
cool.
military golf anytime you can. The courses are great, the people are great. You get to play with guys. You get paired up with people that are in their 70s that fought wars
Yeah,
that we never even
yeah,
dream of, and along with guys finishing up their AIT or on their weekend break
yeah,
whenever they finally get free.
yeah.
So always a good time.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's part of our strategy, and this is just like when you're a young company, you can't spread yourself too thin. And green grass, it could just be a little bit challenging there if you're trying to kind of scale it out. But we had it, someone reached out to us like, we have to have Hoolie in here. I was like, all right, man, let's do it. So to your point, Jonathan, absolutely put us in touch. We would love if people want to showcase our stuff, like absolutely, I want to do that. We're just not knocking on a whole lot of doors yet.
Not busting down the doors is what you mean.
Well, I got the tools if need
You
be.
got
Yeah.
got the tools.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, exploring the site, looking at the stuff. I mean, Jonathan and I are big hat guys. Like even the hat collection that you have,
Yeah.
and all the different things. It's extremely desirable to someone like us who loves cool, interesting stuff in the game, stuff that would look good again on and off the course. So, I think what y'all are doing, the designs and stuff are incredible. And I got to ask, are you the brains behind the designs, or are you working with somebody to help come up with some of these things?
Yeah, so we do have a designer, and I also design some stuff. So I definitely want to give him the lion's share of the credit. But what I found out in this whole kind of transition out of the military and taking a dive into this is I actually enjoy designing stuff. So I grew up drawing and doing things like that. I got a little bit of a artistic side there. So yeah, some of the polos and t-shirts and hats I've designed myself. We have a great designer who does amazing work as well. So kind of a shared labor of love there. Yeah. But thank you for the compliment. Really appreciate that.
No, it's great stuff. Yeah, we're big fans.
Yeah, right on.
Very nice. Well, we talk to a lot of people in the business. You don't get a lot of time to play golf, right? So, has this allowed you to play more golf, or are you working so hard at building
Yeah.
Hoolie that it's keeping you off the course?
Yeah, it's the latter, unfortunately. I've played less golf the last couple of years and practiced less, but interestingly enough, it's forcing me to get more creative, and so I've been able to kind of inch down my handicap a little bit the last couple years. But what it has done is it's introduced me to a lot of people that otherwise I would have no business learning, and I've got to golf some pretty cool courses with some of those connections as well. So yeah, there are some benefits. No, I'm not spending more time on the course yet, but we're working on it. It's a work in progress.
Working on it for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
once you keep building this thing and growing it, then absolutely there'll be time for golf.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very
Indeed.
nice. Yeah. Well, speaking of your own golf, and we'll talk a little bit more Hoolie here towards the end, but we ask everybody that comes on the show, what's the story of your most memorable golf shot? Maybe it is that first crisp iron that you hit,
Mm.
but you probably have a bunch of hole in ones you just hadn't told us about yet.
No, 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 I don't. Oh man. We have a couple. Golf shot or golf memory? Does it need to be like one particular golf shot?
No,
No.
it's your memory. Yeah, whatever stands out to
Okay.
you.
Um, I'm gonna give you a couple different memories here. I'm gonna give you three. I'll give you my top three, and they're all a little bit different. But so back when I was a high handicapper, I don't mean this to offend anyone, but I was like I don't know, like a 12 or 15. So that's where it was. This is back when I was still active duty. I had a knee surgery. It was just like a meniscus debridement the week prior, and I was just itching to get back on the course. So 1 week from that surgery, I went out and I ended up on that same military course. I shot a two over,
Very
which
nice.
blasted my low times, my low score by a mile. And it took me all the way until it took me 6 years to match that score when my handicap dropped to single digit. Um,
Always
so
be aware or wary of the injured golfer.
man, I'll tell you what, and it was weird because that was my first like inkling of what they call flow state. To where like there was no thinking and it was just confidence and it was just belief, and I just went up and I was just hitting shots, and it was crazy. I woke up about 5 holes in, and I think I was 4 under through five. It was something.
Whoa.
It was insane, and then it hit me, and the nerves, like and then I made some bogeys. I think I finished that nine. I think I was 1 under, and but I had a ridiculous stretch there. Okay, fast forward. Memory two was I got to golf Pebble Beach for the one and only time. This is back in 2020. They had a really good deal going on. This is during that COVID stretch. So I went with a good buddy of mine, and my brother drove down from the Central Valley. And what makes this really cool was we golfed Spyglass the day before, and I was an absolute train wreck. Like completely forgot how to hit a golf ball. Um, that evening, I was like, I don't like. We have Pebble Beach tomorrow. I feel miserable. I'm sitting awake. It's like 3 in the morning. I can't go to bed. I'm like, I'm just dreading it because I don't want to dread it. And I made my peace. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to enjoy myself tomorrow, whatever the hell it brings. It's Pebble Beach. It's an amazing course. Like, I was steeped in all the history. I was watching all the old, you know, uh, was it, the Great World of Golf, the Jack Nicklaus things in the
Right.
'60s, and then all the way to the, I think it was the, uh, 2000 U.S. Open with the Tiger and all that, like everything in between. I was so pumped to be there. Well, I ended up having like just just one of those days. Like my swing was still kind of broken, but it was broken one direction. So I could just aim left, and I knew I was just playing a big cut slice that day, and it worked. And it was just a glorious round. And I got all the way up to 18. I had a chance to shoot in the 70s. I nailed my drive on 18, which that was the one that I was like,
I was about to say, big cut slice playing 18.
well,
How far over the ocean did you start that
yeah,
thing?
and I hate to call out my playing partners here, but they went first and they dumped both their balls into the Pacific. And so I went third, and I actually hit it was a conservative line. I hit it right at that tree, ended up getting kind of past that tree, and that kind of plural space there left me a shot. Um, but yeah, it ended up unfortunately, and then I had got a ridiculous break on that hole where I hit off my second shot hit off that seawall.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was going towards the Pacific. It was gone, and that it hit the seawall and ricocheted like 70 yards into the fairway. Still ended up making bogey there. Um, So that's number 2, and because my brother was there and my good buddy, that's definitely out there. And
So
then this last
your brother put one in the ocean. Is what you're saying?
I didn't hey, your words, not mine. I didn't say that.
I'm just just putting
Yeah.
pieces together.
It could have been 2 other,
It could have been two other people.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Um, awesome day there. And then my 3rd memory was from this past year. I've had some hole outs. I don't have any hole in ones, but I holed out on a par 4 from 200. Um, unfortunately, I didn't see the ball go in the hole. I was looking around the green. I'm like, I hit that too good, and I'm in despair. I'm looking around, and my buddy's like, it's in the hole. So sorry, I couldn't narrow that down to one. I couldn't pick, but top
I'm
3.
sorry,
There you
man.
go.
Golf stories are the best.
Those are good
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
I also
Well,
have some, some stories the other way, like when the great winter of 2017 down here in Coronado and San Diego. I know folks on the East Coasters don't think we have a
Yeah.
real winter, but it legitimately got down to freezing along the coast area. And I was golfing. It was in a January, and the course was nice enough to let us play, but it was like frozen over. And I'm on the 2nd hole on this military course, and I have a push cart, and I put it kind of near the water. I'm in the bunker, and my buddy's like, "Hey man, your cart!" And I look over, and that thing's careening down a hill right into this frigid water. Man, I ended up chasing after it, and it turned into a submarine, and I had to go all the way in there, drenched. It's 35 degrees. Um, I came out just sopping wet and freezing cold, and my buddy was, and he's a team guy as well. He's legitimately concerned for me. He's like, dude, you want to call it? I'm like, nah, man, we're good. We're good.
And that's where the first moment of this future golf bag came in.
That's right.
There you go. Right.
There you go.
Something
Yep.
that gets green, under the water.
That's
That'd be
awesome.
great. Well, another thing we like to do is what we call a quick 9. So just a little back and forth on some random questions here. And the first one, and it
Yeah.
might be the one you already mentioned, what is the favorite course that you've ever played?
Double. Yeah.
It's got to be.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
What is the course at the top of your bucket list?
I think Augusta National. I mean, it's so hard to get an invite there. That would be the one. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Definitely on our
I also
list.
got to say, I got to play the old course in St. Andrews. So Pebble Beach, and then they're so close.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. What is your favorite course that no one knows about?
Man, just random. I was in Malaysia. I don't even know the name of the course, but I got to golf in Malaysia, and there were monkeys running around, like stealing, like we have squirrels here in the US, stealing food out of your cart. So I think just for the novelty alone, that random course in Malaysia.
That's a good one.
That's crazy. I was going to ask, maybe there's a second part of that question. What's the most unique golf course that you've played besides monkeys on the course in Malaysia?
I got to spend some time in kind of that neck of the woods, and got to golf in Australia. That's kind of a treat. I mean, you got kangaroos on the course that I I just have a memory of this one course. They're just probably and I don't remember what you call a group of kangaroos. There's a name for it there. But anyways, there was a group of kangaroos in the fairway, and they're laying out, they're sunbathing, and I hit it right into them, and they could like care less. Um, yeah, I don't know. A lot of cool courses and random courses, man. There were some other places. I don't know if it was a Komodo dragon I saw in one of those Southwest Asian courses. Yeah,
Wow.
there's some interesting courses around the world for sure.
That's
Get
some
out, play some
exotic
golf.
golf right
Yeah,
there.
for sure.
Yeah. Now I traveled, you know, whenever I picked up golf, and I ended up going back to that first round. I go get the junk clubs. We ended up deploying a couple months after that. We ended up going to Iraq, and I took my clubs to Iraq. I took my clubs on most trips, training trips after that point, and then deployments. And yeah, obviously there's some places you can't play golf in Iraq.
I was about to say, what's the
Does
best course in Iraq to
did
play?
Saddam Hussein have
Yeah.
his own private course somewhere, like a little putt putt somewhere?
You know, I'm sure there are some courses there. They probably weren't very well kept over the last 20 years, but
A lot of
yeah, you
bunkers.
know, I but what I would do is I would practice. I would hit in a net, and one of the places I was deployed to the Middle East, we had this big compound which was just like moon dust, and I built a range out there, like took pallets, like wooden pallets, put a top to it, and then put carpet on top of it. And a course was very nice enough to give me a bunch of range balls. So I went out there and I would hit, whenever I could find time, I'd go hit a bunch of balls, pardon me, and then I would put on my moon boots and go. And you talk about a thankless job. Go try to pick up 100 balls that you hit out in the desert. Not fun.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Who would be in your dream foursome?
Hmm. Oh man, I think. All right, I think it would be Jack Nicklaus, Tiger Woods. Oh man, this is tough. If we can make a fivesome, it'd be a lot easier.
It's your group,
Uh,
man. Make a fivesome.
yeah, Arnold Palmer, Ben Hogan. If it was, I mean, I honestly probably need to kick a couple of those dudes off and throw my dad on the foursome there. It'd be great to get out with him as well. So
Sounds like a good group.
yeah.
All right. What is your favorite snack at the turn?
I try not to snack too much nowadays, but like if this is like a social round or some sort of event, I like myself a good hot dog, you know. Yeah. Especially like if you're lucky enough to go to some of these nice clubs, they always got a mean hot dog.
That is
True
true.
story.
All right. What is your favorite golf course logo?
Mm. Man, it's kind of a tough one there. I mean, the only one that's jumping out right now is like the only logo I could really that just jumps out is like Wingfoot, something like that.
That's a very great one.
That was a good choice. What has been your favorite pro shop purchase?
Mm. Man, years ago I had the same damn one, but whatever those damn scrubbers with the retractable leash, I don't know. About a decade, I got one of those. It's been on the bag ever since. Old trusty there keeps the clubs clean. I'm a simple man.
That's
Very nice.
great.
All right. What is one thing golfers should do?
Hmm. I'm going to go the other way. One thing golfers should not do is give advice to other golfers unless it's solicited.
I
In
like
terms of
that.
what golfers should do if they're looking to get better, um, I wasted well over a decade just not applying the fundamentals of you know what you should do to learn a very difficult game like this. So if you're picking up golf, go get some professional instruction and learn the fundamentals and yeah, and learn your golf swing. Like there's a lot of value in video. Like once you understand the fundamentals of like the positions in your golf swing that make you successful, and knowing that we're all working towards something, but when you hit that great shot, what are the different positions that you're hitting? What is the mix of that great shot? Learning what that is and being able to guide yourself on your own as well and own your own swing, I think is also something to work towards.
Like it.
Nice.
All right. Last one. Finish this sentence. What is the best part of golf is?
Showing up to the course, knowing that today could be your best round ever.
Jonathan,
Yeah.
have you ever had that thought? Okay.
It's only come true once. But
It only happened
almost
once.
every day I'm like, today I might shoot 72. And instead I shoot 92 like normal. So
You
There
know,
you go.
the thing is though, until you card that round, anything's possible.
oh
Right. That's the truly unique thing. And one of the alluring thing is like you truly don't know. Like that low round I shot back in 2017. Yeah, man, that's a great thing. It's one of the things I really love about golf is like there's a chance. There's a chance. And obviously, yeah, the rounds will get away. And then the chance becomes, okay, this isn't my best round ever, but how can I recover from this? I love that part of the game for
Yeah.
sure.
Definitely. Well, Bobby, this has been a ton of fun, man. I love what you're doing with Hoolie. Tell everybody, because this is a direct to consumer thing, where can they go find out more and buy some stuff from Hoolie Golf?
Yeah, great. And guys, thank you very much for having me here. Been great chatting with you guys. Yeah, please check us out at hooliegolf.com. That's HOOLIE golf.com. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook at Hoolie Golf, spelled the same way. Yeah, and we would love to earn your business. We serve action guys, like I mentioned earlier. We're looking for folks who just have, the competitive mindset, want to do their best, have a good sense of humor, like to have fun. So, if you're a military law enforcement, veteran, gym rat, CrossFitter, um, you know, athlete, former athlete, you name it, you want to get after it, we're your brand, check us out. And please help get the word out. Yeah, we appreciate it.
Absolutely. Well, we will put links to all of that stuff you just mentioned in the show notes. But
Awesome.
yeah, again, thank you, one, for joining us, but thank you for your service. It's just an honor to get to chat with you a little bit. And I hope, like we do with a lot of our guests, I hope we can find some time to get together in person and go play some golf. That would be a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
that's good. Thanks,
When you get
guys.
when you get your dream round at Augusta, Jonathan's right down the road and I'm up in Columbia, so we'll come join you.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Well, for Bobby and Jonathan, this is Robbie, and you guys have been listening to another episode of the Whole Story Podcast.